Hello, hello, everybody. That's my bad. I started it in the wrong settings. Oopsies. As you all are well aware, my name is Johanna Dinsdale from Multi Therapy, and today we're talking passive aggressive behavior, obviously. So, what is passive aggressive behavior? Well, I'll definitely give you a few examples throughout this video today. Sorry guys, I'm a bit frazzled after that mess up, but that's okay. I'll get into the swing of things soon. Live streams, you never know what's gonna happen, am I right? So let's start with what is passive aggressiveness. So for example, it's a lot of eye rolling, it's a lot of snide remarks, it's a lot of sassy comments. Let's get some examples going here. So one example being, usually sassy girls is the first people we think of, right? If you think of Mean Girls, Regina George, the main girl, she is very, very passive aggressive. I love this scene where she's talking to Katie, the transfer student, where she's saying, "Oh, you're really pretty." And the girl says, "Thanks." "Oh, so you think you're pretty?" Like just that kind of thing, right? It's almost like a trap for people. Hi Matt, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. How is your morning? We're talking passive aggressiveness today. Have you ever experienced that? I definitely have, in a lot of situations. And let me tell you guys, I definitely had my moments of passive aggressiveness, and I really needed a wake-up call. One of my friends called me out. It was like I used a lot of humor to deal with issues that I didn't like instead of expressing things in a healthy way. So that was my big moment of growth where I said, okay, I'm gonna have to correct some of this behavior here. And that's okay, right? We're always ready to grow as a person, to change our bad behaviors. Hopefully you guys can still find the channel. I know that I kind of started one and exited, so before we get too deep down into things, I can wait for a few more people to hop on. Matt, tell me more about what's been going on with you. Oh, there we go. Matt says, you come from a family where parents' emotions almost always through passive aggression. Oh man, that sounds really difficult. So you're kind of used to that, huh? I feel like my family's a good, healthy mix of communication styles, depending on the situation. Hello, we win. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Today we're being passive aggressive, okay? This is not my normal personality, guys, but I like to be a little bit sassy sometimes, it's kind of fun. Passive aggressiveness, it's like, oh great, thanks for joining the channel, guys. I'm really excited. I'm definitely not super sleepy right now. When we win, have you ever experienced passive aggressiveness? Hi Naga, welcome. May you kneel down in my live stream. Certainly, feel free to pull up a cushion and join the circle of support. Definitely. That'd be amazing. Oh my gosh, so silly. Drizzy, happy to see you thriving and finally free. You deserve peace. Okay. Thanks, Drizzy. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, we win. That's really sweet. So what's another example of passive-aggressive behavior? Has anybody ever seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada? I'm pretty excited for the next movie to come out. I can't imagine how they could top the first one, though. That one was such a classic with Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep. So Meryl Streep's character was like the definition of passive-aggressiveness, right? She always had this like deadpan look and just roasted people in a very nonchalant way, right? Sometimes it was just straight up aggression, right? And sometimes it was passive aggressive. She would kind of make her statements almost sound like advice, even though it was absolutely brutal, right? And a veiled insult. Okay. Now that I know you can take a joke, I can open up to you. That's right, Jersey. We have fun here. I'm like a cool therapist. No, absolutely. I definitely use humor in my therapy sessions and stuff. But I think there's a time and a place, right? It's all about expressing yourself in a good, healthy way. And that can take some practice. I used to like lean way too much into being sassy. And when my friend called me out, I was like, oh, dang. And I had to do some self-reflection and said, all right, you're right. I need to be more clear, more assertive in my communication style. And we're going to get into all of that, ways on how to communicate better, how to communicate more assertively, especially with passive aggressive people. We'll cover both. We'll cover what if I'm passive aggressive and want to work on it, and what if somebody else is passive aggressive to me and I want to almost either shut it down or set some boundaries there so they stop doing it to you. It's pretty common, I find, in people's workplaces. Hi, Arnav. How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Oh, thanks, Weewin. That's really sweet. Matt, your English tend to be very passive aggressive. Very true. My family is also British. I lived in England for a year when I was a kid and came back to Canada. I am Canadian, guys, from Toronto, a qualifying psychotherapist. And yeah, the art of passive aggressiveness is it is an art, right? Because it's a balance between insulting somebody but not taking it too far that they feel insulted. So, for example, you might have a family member who gets, gives you a gift of veiled criticism. The smile is too wide, the tone is too sweet. You kind of walk away feeling vaguely insulted, but it's heartening the crime, right? That's when you know it might have been a passive-aggressive comment. Arnav, just catching up here. Oh, that's wonderful. You're from India. Well, welcome. I love our global community. We do have a few members in our community who are from India, and we love to hear from them. Hi, Seedath. Good morning. Welcome. Do you know any sassy people in your lives? Hi, Vickus. Welcome back. How's your morning? There's definitely an upside to it, for sure. Oh, Drizzy's got a serious question for me. Your country is facing, an epidemic of self-harm. How could you suggest men open up to their loved ones without seeming unmanly? Wow, that's a really good question, Drizzy. And I will answer. First of all, it's very much a cultural thing, right? To think of emotional vulnerability as weakness, right? As unmanly. But let's try to shift that frame of mind. Being emotionally vulnerable with your partner is actually creating a stronger connection between the two of you. By expressing your true needs, your true feelings, you're giving them the blueprint into your inner world. And that's a sign of strength, not weakness, right? By doing that, you're bringing each other closer together. You're making each other a team, as opposed to trying to do things all independently. So I hope that helps. If you're feeling those types of feelings, those thoughts, I highly recommend, really, really strongly recommend talking to a professional about it, okay? Really important, because they can help you work through that too. Partners are great to open up to, but it's really good to talk to somebody who has training to help you process those emotions, to challenge those thoughts, all sorts of things. There's specific programs designed to help you work through that. Arnav, how is my family? My family's doing great. Thanks for asking. There was the first snowfall 2 days ago or yesterday, and it was glorious. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of snow. Having lived in Canada, sometimes it just gets a bit boring. But yeah, no, it was nice to see it again after, several months without it. Oh, Vicky, sorry. It's evening, of course. I'm still waking up, guys, okay? Double tap that screen and like the live. Absolutely. See, Death, is that how you like it? Is that an orchard in the background? I think it is. I just made like a frilly background. I was gonna be like really sassy today. I mean, for people who are new to the stream, I'm not normally super sassy. But okay, let's define passive aggression. It's the indirect expression of hostility, resentment, or anger. Indirect being the key word. It's anger that doesn't feel safe to show openly, or judgment, so it kind of leaks out in a different way, The person using passive aggressiveness is usually facing like a fear of conflict, which I definitely had. I used to hate conflict. Like, I would avoid confrontation like crazy. Like, I just would not do it, and I would like get super anxious even thinking about it. But, with studying therapy and everything and working on myself, that's when you realize, okay, it's time to like push through that fear. And the more that you practice it, guys, the more you realize that it's okay to set some boundaries, right? And if people keep pushing through that, at least you were really clear in your boundaries and you can talk your way through it, right? It's like I told you a specific boundary. I wasn't sarcastic this time. I wasn't telling it through a joke. This is my needs. If they meet it, great. If not, then you can do another confrontation. Hey, I told you this boundary. Can we talk about why you're not upholding that? It makes me feel bad, right? Like, this is my experience. Oh, behind me is an orchard. Oh, an orchid. Orchid? What are they called? Oh my gosh, my mind's blanking. But yes, it is. It's a fake one though, guys. I am not a gardener by any means. Next year, I'm hoping to try my hand at gardening. Demi, the faceless roommate, is a very good gardener. She grows like her own tomatoes, cucumbers, all that fun stuff, cilantro. So I'm hoping to give that a shot. Sheeper, welcome. Sometimes when you're hungry, you eat food, you think? Sometimes I do that too. Wow, we have so much in common. That was sarcasm. Sorry, Sheeper. That's what we're talking about, passive aggressiveness today. Please don't take offense. Yeah. Okay, Susanna. Welcome. I'm not sure what that means. If that's a different language or gibberish, but thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Vicus. You've seen people showing passive-aggressive behavior, like, I believe it's a very childish thing to do, right? Well, that's a really good point, Vicus. I think people use passive-aggressiveness for a lot of different reasons, right? Sometimes they're not even aware that they're doing it. Like myself, when I was in university, I was like the most passive-aggressive person, okay? Nobody's perfect here, guys. And that was something that I had to work on, right? I just didn't realize that that was my style of communication. So once I became aware of it, that's the first step, right? Becoming aware of it. You might have been taught it. You might have been in a friend group that used it a lot, so you picked it up, what have you. And once you're aware of it, that's when you decide, okay, maybe I'm going to change this. Maybe this pattern of behavior used to work for me in the past, right? Typically, we use this type of communication because it works for you. But it's like, maybe I don't want to use this anymore because I can use more assertive communication that brings people closer together rather than kind of using snide remarks to get my way. And also, if you hear me talking weird, I like burned the side of my tongue on my coffee today. So yeah, that's why. It's not just me being sassy. It's because I burnt my tongue. Let me see. Oh, you buy flowers for your mom, see, Death? I love that. Giving flowers is such a nice thing to do. I should get a real one, a real orchid. They last for years. Yeah, maybe I will. That's a good point. I'll put it in the background. Oh, you're asking what I do for work, Arnav. I'm a therapist. I'm a qualifying psychotherapist, burnt tongue, in Toronto, Canada. I do virtual sessions, guys. So if you're in Canada and you would like to work with me, feel free to book a session at multitherapy.co. I'm also looking into starting to take on clients from India. I see that the rules and regulations might allow for it. However, I need to talk to a lawyer first to make sure that that's all in the up and up, right? Yeah. So we discussed, the core conflict, the why. The person using passive aggressiveness is usually experiencing a fear of conflict. It worked for them in the past. There's a few different ways to realize if somebody's being passive aggressive to you. First of all, the sarcastic compliment. We talked about that one from Mean Girls, where she said, "Ooh, I think you're really pretty." And she says, "Thanks." "Oh, so you think you're really pretty?" Basically saying, "Oh, so you're full of yourself," right? That is a trap, guys. That is a trap. Or for another one, "Oh, I love that top. You're so brave for wearing that. I could never." Like that kind of thing. I find that, not to be stereotypical, sometimes the ladies use that more often than the men when it comes to the sarcastic compliments. See, Death. Oh yeah, thank you for confirming. I'm a therapist. Hey, IX, welcome back. Sometimes you give very passive hugs. I can be very passive aggressive. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That's so random. I like that kind of humor, IX. Keep it coming, okay? That is exactly my kind of humor. The funny puns. Vicus, a qualified magician, Canadian-based, cool, amazing psychotherapist. I should learn some magic tricks for you, Vicus. My grandpa used to do a lot of them. He was very talented. He still does, actually. But I think his magician box is packed away somewhere. So maybe for Christmas, I'll buy him some more magician tricks to pull out. Yeah, I love the handkerchief one. That's always a fun one. Yeah, let me think about it. I'll buy him a magician box gift and then I'll use it on stream before I give it to him. How about that? Okay, another example of passive aggressiveness is the purposeful oh gosh, my tongue. The purposeful procrastination. Agreeing to a task and then failing to deliver out of subtle spite or resistance. So oh yeah, sure, I'll definitely get that started for you. And then just not doing it, right? That's passive aggressive because you're just not saying, "Hey, I can't do it, I'm sorry." You're being silly about it, right? You're kind of avoiding that conflict. Azoth. Hey, welcome. I'm also a hypnotherapist. That is correct. Your older videos have been super beneficial to starting your own practice. Hey, well done. Congratulations. That's really exciting. Azoth Darktube. Compliments to you. You seem to be a light in the mental health field. It shows. Oh my gosh. You're going to make me cry. Whenever I don't get a lot of sleep, I get very emotional about these things. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Oh, wow. Wow. Vicus, are you serious? I would like to see some tricks. Absolutely, Vicus. I'm going to look in the store. It's okay. There's a great magician store, toy store in Stratford. And I think I'm going to do a little road trip down there. If you guys don't know, Stratford, Ontario is kind of the main hub of musicals. If you don't know me, I love musicals. Hamilton being one of my favorites. Les Mis, obviously amazing. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys like musicals and which one's your favorite, because I'd love to hear it. See, Death, you saw David Copperfield and Chris Angel. Oh my gosh, what a magical trip. That's like the main OGs of magic other than Houdini, but yeah, rest in peace. Zach Howard, welcome to the chat. Hello. You just got here. Yeah, sure. We could do a quick summary. Basically, we're talking about passive aggressiveness, which is like snide, sassy comments rather than being direct when it comes to your communication style. We give examples like the sarcastic compliment, just like purposeful procrastination, where you say you'll do something really sassily and then don't do it. The silent treatment actually comes across as passive aggressive too, right? It doesn't fall under the category of aggressiveness, right? It's just, sulking almost, right? That is kind of a bit of a manipulation tactic, right? It's okay to be withdrawn and like processing your emotions and everything, but you gotta let the other person know in order to be assertive, right? That upset me, so I'm just gonna take some space would be the more assertive way to do it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about attachment theory and how that ties into the passive aggression, right? It's highly correlated with anxious or avoidant attachment styles. Anxious people fear of rejection so much that they avoid direct confrontation, right? And then avoidant attachment styles avoids all emotional intensity, right? So they really withdraw. That's where the silent treatment comes in, because they just can't process and engage in that conversation. Hopefully that caught you up. See, Death, that's near you. Oh, are you? Yeah, right. You're in London, right, C Death? Yeah, and Cirque du Soleil. That's right. Do you guys know Cirque du Soleil? Vicus, I bet you'd really like Cirque du Soleil. That's kind of both magic and fun and silliness all at the same time. Oh, there's another gift, guys. It popped up on my screen. Here you go. I'm doing one gift for the chat. Somebody's going to be gifted a subscription for a month. Let's see who it is. Who got it? Oh, Envy received a gift membership. Congratulations, Envy. It's completely random, guys. I don't get to choose. Congratulations. Congrats, Joe. Sorry, this is from Vicus. Congrats, Joe. I see you're doing a great job here. Listening from people you have already changed their life by healing their anxiety is so commendable. Keep doing this. Yeah, you guys, fun fact, we're actually really, really close to getting monetized again. I think in 2 days I'll be monetized again, which is all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. It takes 4,000 watch hours in a year. So like within the past year, you need at least that amount. And we met it, guys. So yes, that means I'm going to be able to turn off the mid-roll ads on all my hypnosis videos. So once that happens, no more mid-roll ads. Woohoo! So that's exciting. Yeah, that's the big update. And I'll let you guys know when it happens. I'll make a community post so we can all celebrate together. Jackson, so you grew up in a cult, hey? And you left it. But you were just wondering what makes cults appeal to people. I didn't accept anything from a developed point of view, but others did, and it confuses me as to why. That's a really great question, Jackson. That's a really good question. There's a lot of sorry, my burnt tongue is really making it hard for me to talk. I didn't realize how bad it was until I started talking. So, there's a lot of psychological things that occur when you're in a cult. Specifically, there's a lot of group mentality, right? This is the study of when people want to follow a leader, right? They want to feel like part of a community. And often cults prey upon the people who are very vulnerable, who don't have a lot of people or support in their lives, which makes it a lot easier for them to get manipulated. And it doesn't mean that they're stupid, like it doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. It means that they are looking for connection. They're looking for community, which they get from this cult, right? So once they're in that situation, it's really hard for them to get out because firstly, as we know, like cults are really good at isolating people too, right? They slowly, increase the demand of oneness, right? Of collectivism. It's called collectivist thinking, where instead of thinking of your own self, you're thinking of yourself as a collective and you have to follow the group, right? Some people just don't have that programming, right? They're a free thinker, and they challenge those things. They challenge those thoughts naturally, whereas some people just, they don't have that natural thing. Maybe they need to be taught it, or maybe something needs to happen really negatively in the cult, right? It's almost like the pros and cons. People find it more beneficial to stay in the cult as opposed to leave it. I hope that helps. There's a lot of different psychology involved in cults, but yeah, that's just like a brief little summary. There was this great podcast I was listening to about this woman who escaped the cult and her experience, and it sounds very similar to yours, where she was confused about why people were just accepting this, right? She was really unhappy being a woman, like she was thought of as like a second-class citizen. So again, it's like those pros and cons, right? She's saying, why am I being treated like this? Why do I have to follow all these rules but the men don't? So that kind of opened her eyes a little bit too, right? She started to challenge these things. Yeah, Envil is the lucky one. I know, yay! Azoth Darktube. Oh, I don't know, we're talking about passive aggressiveness. You love mid-rolled ads and hypnosis videos. Oh my gosh, right? I think you might be sarcastic, huh? Is that what's happening? That was a great example. You're funny. We got some funny people in the chat today. See death. That's awesome. I'm close to 460 subs in 3K hours at the moment. It's a grind. Absolutely. See death. I gotta follow you, okay? Hold on. I'm gonna go on my YouTube right now. If anybody else wants to follow from me, let me know. I will follow you. That's the fun part of these lives. See death. X2. Everybody go follow them, okay? Subscribed. It was a Christian cult in the 1940s. Armstrongism. Okay. I don't know about that one specifically. Maybe I do. I just don't recognize it right now. You want your treat. When is your channel become monetized? Okay. What treat do you want, Vicus? Tell me. Oops. Stephen Hazen also goes into depth about the importance of programming that identify into people who are naturally vulnerable. Identity is a huge piece of the puzzle. Yeah, for sure. C-Death says, it's true, a collective and group probably hard to leave. Some of the people you met and connection you made in them. Absolutely. Hi, Chester. Welcome. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the chat. Oh, guys, my tongue. I'll be okay. All right. So we talked this. I always have my little notes here to keep me on track because, as you know me, I like to drift off into other topics. That's just kind of what to expect when you're on these live streams. Therapeutic interventions, right? Let's get to what to do if you're experiencing passive aggressiveness from people and you want to push past that and set some boundaries, okay? The first thing to do, and the really easy way, this is like the biggest hack, is to use the I statements, okay? When you feel criticism, respond by using a non-accusatory I feel statement that focuses on the behavior, not the person. So for example, instead of saying, "Why are you being mean?" you can say, "I feel uncomfortable when I hear that tone, and I need you to address me directly, please." You hear that? The thing is, you're saying you're feeling, and people cannot argue against your feelings. They might try. They could say, "Oh, you're not uncomfortable," but it's like, well, actually I am. I'm telling you that I am. I work with a lot of clients, right? And there are some people who are really good at twisting, deflecting the conversation, flipping it back on you. Well, you did something, so that's why I said that, right? Stand your ground and start analyzing the conversation for what it is, right? If you have maybe, let's say, a passive-aggressive coworker, sort of put on your scientist hat, okay? Like, okay, I'm like the detective. I'm going to figure out our pattern of communication and why it's gotten so toxic, right? So they come up to you, they're really sassy about your report instead of just being direct and saying that you missed a part of it or something, right? And that's how you can step in. I feel uncomfortable when I hear that tone. Like, can you just address me directly? They might say, "Oh, I wasn't doing that," right? Typically, people go into defensive mode, right? Nobody likes to be called out. And that's when you can just, reassure them. That's okay. Like, sorry. I was going to say you don't need to get defensive, but it's a really good idea to avoid even talking about them. Just talk about your experience, right? That way you're not creating an argument. It's like, that's okay. I'm just telling you, I would really appreciate it if you could speak to me a bit more kindly when we talk about this thing, right? What is exactly that you need from me? And setting these boundaries may take some time, right? They might get angry, they might get, even more sassy, but it's just about being calm, right? Even non-judgmental curiosity can occur, right? It's like, "Oh, I just noticed that you sighed really loudly," not sarcastically, like, "Oh, I just noticed that you sighed. Is there something you'd like to say to me about this request?" That kind of thing. "Oh, I just noticed that you rolled your eyes. What's up? What are you thinking about?" You got to be really, really gentle, because this person is obviously struggling with their communication style, right? And by doing this, you're giving them an opportunity to express themselves in a better way, right? You're kind of guiding them down the trail of assertive behavior. And again, it's not up to you to be their therapist, right? But it's about you setting boundaries. By doing this, you are creating these boundaries for yourself. Okay, Vicus, you want Canadian coffee? Excellent. Tim Hortons? What's your go-to coffee? You like lattes? Matt Frank, Jubilee actually did a really interesting video with ex-cult members. Ooh, that is interesting. Maybe we'll do a whole video topic on cults. Let me write that down. That's a great idea. Yeah, I love to hear the stories about the people who have left cults. It's such an inspiring tale, right? Because yeah, it's a hard thing to do to escape them, because there's so much psychologically happening that's trying to keep you there, right? You got the isolation from the outside world. There might even be physical boundaries, right? They keep you within the confines and you're not allowed to leave. So there's a lot up against you in order to push through and, escape. Z3K aliens. Oh, I think we might have an alien in our chat who's hungry. Yeah. Azoth says, cool story, bro. Okay. Humanity has only fallen. Uh-oh. You think so? That's no good. Vicus, anti-feminines. Oh, was there an anti-feminist? Thanks, Vicus. I appreciate you. Yes, my guardian angel is here. Matt Frank, welcome. A therapist was there talking to them. Who? Oh, on the Jubilee thing, Matt? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Meme Lord, thanks for listening about the cult. Wish I could have others that left join a real Christian group like I have, but I completely understand their trauma and don't push it ever. Yeah, Meme Lord, it's definitely not easy, and congratulations for getting out of that situation and still having that faith, right? It sounds like you just found a healthier group to join, which is wonderful to hear. You're right? Like faith depends on your own beliefs, and if you're finding that the group that you're in isn't reflecting your own values, what is important to you and your meaning in life, then yeah, maybe it's time to make a change. Okay, yeah, the Jubilee. Should we watch it together? That might be interesting. What do you guys think? I'll do a poll. How do I do that? Technology, guys. Oops. How do I do that? Oh no, I don't think I can since I'm on my computer. Rats. Okay, just shout it in the comments down below, guys. Do you want to watch the Jubilee video? Maybe we could do it in the next one, actually, because that's not really passive-aggressive. Ooh. Let me write it down. Jubilee. How about we'll do it tomorrow? And then I will look up. I feel like my computer's gonna crash, but we could give it a try. Let's watch The Devil Wears Prada. Cerulean Sweater. Yeah, this is a good one. My computer doesn't love when I live stream, so let's give it a try. Put it over here. There we go. You see the confusing, it's so confusing to me, like as if, like that's so sassy, right? She's acting confused and innocent when instead of just saying, hey guys, like this could have been done a bit quicker, please. Ready. So sassy. Oh my gosh, this lady is so funny.
It's a tough call. They're so different.
I would be deceased if a whole group of people looked at me like that. Oh my gosh, the social anxiety I would feel.
Something funny?
Insulted. Uh-oh. Okay, let me just read the chat really quick. Yes, I am excited to see the sequel. It's good. She's like she's going out of her way to embarrass her right now. And this is where it's like, it's borderline aggressive now, I would say. It's slipping out of passive aggressiveness to straight up. Ooh, dang. Yeah, roasted. Freaking roasted by Miranda. I will definitely be watching the sequel, but I can't imagine it being as good as the first one. It's untouchable. Yes, indeed. What do you guys think? Was that a good example, or do you think she was too aggressive to be passive aggressive? I think the main thing that makes it passive aggressive is her acting kind of dumb, right? She's like, oh, I can't believe you would think that you weren't part of this, that you're not part of this fashion world because you wear clothes. So you are. Cerulean is blue. Yes, IX, absolutely. Oh, you think Anne Hathaway's eyes look so different now? I haven't noticed. Maybe. That lady is so funny and sarcastic. Yeah, Meryl Streep is a legend. She is so great. I remember she told the story once that a director, so I think he was speaking Italian, and she does speak some Italian. And the guy, she was auditioning to be in King Kong, and the guy basically said she was too ugly to be in King Kong in Italian, not thinking that she spoke Italian. And then she called them out and like walked away. But like, Meryl Streep, you're gorgeous. She knows she's gorgeous. She's like, that guy was dumb. And I agree. Yeah, fashion people are so passionate. I'm not a big fashion person, but I do love a good purse. And that's like a recent development. I don't know why I'm so like interested in purses right now. Everybody's got to have a special interest, right? What's your special interest? I'd love to hear it. And that's not sarcasm. IX says it was dramatized, but definitely passive aggressive. You think that you watched that whole video with an ex-girlfriend back when it came out, and now I'm having flashbacks. Yeah, oh my gosh. The one thing I love was like the boots that she wore. Oh, she wore this like thigh-high boots. I would love to get a pair of those. Ka-chow, and just start kicking. Okay, yeah. So we talked about the I statement, non-judgmental curiosity, right? Just saying, I noticed this sarcasm. Can you please explain what you really need in this moment? The direct, you could go direct clarity check. You know, if it's like bullying, right? Straight up bullying by somebody. If somebody says, oh, that's a brave outfit, right? If Miranda tells you, oh, that's a brave outfit, you can reply with, are you trying to give me a compliment or are you offering a criticism? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, that statement, I'm not sure what you mean, is huge. That'll get people every time, especially if they're being sarcastic. I'm not sure what you mean. Please explain that to me. Oh my gosh. It forces them to drop the veil and admit that they were being intentionally unkind. Oh, I've seen people use this in like real life situations at the workplace. Oh my gosh, amazing. It's so good. So satisfying when it happens. Especially like, I'm trying to think of the exact example. I can't remember what was exactly said, but somebody was making kind of a sexist joke. And the coworker was like, I don't know what you mean by that. Can you explain it to me? And oh my gosh, the way that guy stuttered, is so funny. Yep, that's what you get. Sometimes you need to be called out for bad behavior and people are not used to it. Matt Frank, lifting weights is your special interest. Ooh, that's cool. What kind of weights? Do you do like the deadlift, the kettlebells, or just like the working out at the gym? Special interest is your middle name, my ex? What do you mean? Tell me. I know, the mascara. I can't see, unfortunately, Vicus. I can't see what. I think I'm probably not going to be doing as much makeup, even though it was a lot of fun. I just cannot multitask very well, unfortunately. I used to be able to do it a lot better, but yeah, it's too much. Azoth, you're not sure what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean is gold. Yes. It's like waving kindly to someone road raging. Absolutely. Very, very true. Oh yeah, Matt, that's amazing. How did you become a gym rat? Can you tell me? Because I'd like to become one. I'm just not that passionate about working out. As you can see by my last short that I made, I was like, it's too cold out. I'm not going to the gym. So I got my little foot stepper thing under my desk. And fortunately, this desk is actually one of those ones that move up and down, so it could be a standing desk. And yeah, I just step while I'm editing videos. I considered doing it while doing sessions, but it just seems unprofessional. So I'm like, I can do my self-care off duty. I think it'd be a little distracting if I'm like step. Okay. And then finally, we call this the emotional disconnect intervention, which is if this person is unable to change their behavior towards them, you got to recognize that it's their inability to be direct. It's their problem. It's not yours, right? When you feel the familiar pain of that passive-aggressive attack, you can kind of try to self-soothe, right? You can say, their anger is about fear. It's not about my worth, right? You've taken all the other steps. You got to protect your own self-esteem from their attacks, right? Even no matter how indirect they are, right? Don't get gaslit. Say, that hurt my feelings. I'm allowed to have my feelings hurt no matter if they say, don't, that doesn't count. I wasn't trying to be mean, so that's your problem. Actually, it's your problem, Karen. You're the one saying mean things to me that makes me feel hurt, okay? It's like, we could work together to resolve this, but if you're not going to, then I'm going to have to set more boundaries, right? At the end of the day. You got to protect your energy, guys. Yeah. And the final kind of affirmation that I'll give you guys around this is that you are safe when you speak your truth, okay? Choose directness over drama. All right. That's your takeaway lesson for today, guys. IX says Sigh. Oh, okay. These are IX's special interests. You make knives. Ooh, that's really cool. Do you use cool handles? Like, do you mostly make it out of wood, or do you use like antlers or something? That's cool. You breed fish. You produce music. You got a garden. Play video games. And somehow find the time to raise 2 awesome kids. Oh, IX, I didn't know you were a parent. That's wonderful. Well, I think it's really great that you have so many special interests, because that's a way to connect with your kids too, right? I'm sure they see you really passionate about these projects, which gets them going too. They want to try new things and help you out, I'm sure. That's great to see another parent on here. Matt, this has been a habit for you since 13. That's great. It's really great to have, strong foundations when it comes to these things, right? Raising kids too, it kind of connects, right? Teach them good habits young, and hopefully that carries on into their adulthood. Twisted Reina, hello, welcome. Are you passive aggressive? Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, we talked about The Devil Wears Prada. Do you guys know of any other sarcastic people? I just mentioned the Mean Girls. Who else? I'm trying to think. Nobody's coming to mind. That's okay. I feel like I've kind of said everything I wanted to say, guys. Any questions, comments, concerns about passive aggressiveness? What do you think? I think tomorrow's theme will be cults, and what are they, and how can we avoid them, and why people get stuck in them. We discussed a little bit today, but we can get more into detail tomorrow. Oh, okay. Sorry. Azoth mentioned Chandler from Friends. That is a really good one. You know, I've never seen a full episode of Friends, but I've seen clips, and that seems to check out. Yeah, one of my besties, love Friends. But I always use that question on Never Have I Ever, as I never have I ever seen a full episode of Friends, and it gets everybody every time. So I have to like just not ever watch Friends, unfortunately. Unless I can think of another show that I haven't seen to use in Never Have I Ever games. Oh yeah, Dr. House. That's a really good one. That was a good show. That brings me back. I remember watching Dr. House when I was like in grade 8 and the sleepovers. I don't know why the heck, 12-year-old girls were watching Dr. House, but he was a sassy man, that's for sure. That guy had some issues, but bless him, that's what made him so charismatic and interesting, right? We love a good flawed character, don't we? I wouldn't say he made too many character development growth, he was just always a d-bag until the end. I can't think of his big I guess change of heart, but I never watched the full series through, so maybe that did occur. Right, guys. Well, again, my name is Johanna Dinsdale from Multi-Therapy. I am a Canadian virtual psychotherapist qualifying. So if you'd like to book a session with me, feel free to check out my website, multitherapy.co. If you'd like to join my membership, feel free to join. We have a lot of fun stickers, as you can see in the comments from the other membership subscribers. And yeah, thank you again for joining. We're going to go live again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just a heads up, I will not be able to go live on Friday this week because of a PA day. So take care, everybody, and we'll catch up tomorrow, okay?